Breaking tonight. The royal world stops breathing. The lights of Copenhagen shimmer against the sea, and in the heart of the city, a historic moment unfolds. Princess Leonor of Spain has just married Prince Christian of Denmark. A union no one thought would happen this soon. A love that defied royal expectation, and tonight, every camera lens turns toward the royal chapel, where whispers, tears, and gasps fill the air. But what really happened inside the cathedral? What the public saw was just the surface. Behind the smiles and the diamonds, something deeper, something raw, played out between two families and two nations. From Madrid to Copenhagen, months of speculation now end in a breathtaking reality. The future Queen of Spain and the future King of Denmark, united by love, divided by duty. As the clock struck 6 in Copenhagen, a royal motorcade approached Amalienborg Palace. Crowds lined the streets. White roses were thrown from balconies. Bells rang across the harbor. Leonor stepped out of her carriage in a gown shimmering with Spanish lace and Danish pearls, a design secretly crafted for months under the tightest royal security. But what stole everyone's breath wasn't the gown, it was her expression. Calm, radiant, yet unmistakably emotional. She looked toward the palace balcony, where Queen Letizia stood, eyes shining, hand over her heart. It was a silent message, pride, fear, and maternal love colliding in one unforgettable glance. Christian, waiting inside the chapel, stood motionless. The cameras caught his hand trembling. Denmark's prince, usually composed, suddenly looked like any young man about to marry the love of his life. When Leonor finally entered, every guest stood. King Felipe bowed his head, a rare gesture of humility from a monarch. And in that silence, the echo of centuries of royal history seemed to pause. The ceremony itself was brief but drenched in symbolism. Spanish and Danish choirs sang in harmony, a moment of cultural union. The crowns of both houses were placed on the altar side by side. For the first time, Spain's red and Denmark's white banners hung intertwined, a signal of the new royal alliance that could shape Europe's future. But even as the vows were exchanged, tension lingered. Sources close to the royal families whispered of private disagreements over protocol, faith, and the question of where the couple would reside. Queen Margrethe, dignified as always, reportedly insisted that her grandson remain close to the Danish throne. Queen Letizia, equally resolute, wanted her daughter to maintain her path toward the Spanish crown. And in the middle of it all, Leonor and Christian, their hands clasped tightly, their eyes locked in silent defiance of centuries of royal expectation. They were not just marrying for diplomacy. They were marrying for love. As the priest declared them husband and wife, applause erupted through the chapel. Leonor turned, smiled through tears, and curtsied to her parents. Christian lifted her hand to his lips. Cameras flashed, and the world froze that single image, a future queen, bowing in grace, and a prince, overwhelmed with emotion. Outside, the palace square erupted. Flags waved. Bells thundered. From the balcony, the couple appeared for the first royal kiss of the night. It wasn't staged. It wasn't perfect. It was real. The crowd's roar rolled across Copenhagen's canals like a wave of joy. But what followed next, no one expected. As the newlyweds stepped back inside, King Felipe and Queen Margrethe were seen in a quiet exchange, a rare, visibly tense moment between two monarchs. Reports suggest it concerned the announcement that Leonor and Christian will split their residence between Madrid and Copenhagen, alternating royal duties. A revolutionary decision, one that could redefine the future of European monarchy. Later, during the royal dinner, Queen Letizia delivered a toast that left the hall silent. Her voice steady, but her words filled with emotion. Love is the only crown that cannot be inherited. It must be earned. Leonor's eyes glistened. Christian reached for her hand beneath the table. Cameras didn't catch it, but those in the hall did. From the first dance, the music changed tone. A Spanish guitar met a Danish violin. Cultures blended. Generations united. Even the grandmothers, Queen Margrethe and Queen Sophia, were seen smiling, perhaps realizing that the royal bloodline had just taken a new turn toward modern love. As midnight approached, the couple left the palace quietly, hand in hand. No grand carriage this time, just a black car waiting under the moonlight. They disappeared into the streets of Copenhagen, the city still alive with fireworks and cheers. But one last image surfaced tonight. Unofficial footage, taken from a balcony across the harbor, showing Leonor and Christian stepping onto a private boat. The wind in her veil, his arm around her shoulders, and the faint sound of her laughter echoing over the water. No guards. No ceremony. Just two hearts escaping the weight of crowns for one night of freedom. Breaking tonight, the story isn't just about a royal wedding. It's about a young couple daring to rewrite what royalty means in the 21st century. In Spain, millions watched with pride and tears. In Denmark, church bells continued to ring long after the ceremony ended. And across the world, people realized that for once, love didn't bow to tradition, it rose above it. Princess Leonor of Spain, Prince Christian of Denmark. Two nations, one destiny. The footage from Copenhagen tells the tale the official broadcast didn't. The glances, the whispered vows, the unguarded smiles that no script could fake. Tonight, history was not just witnessed, it was felt. And as dawn approaches, one truth stands clear. Europe has a new royal power couple, bound not by arrangement, but by something far stronger, love that dares to stand beneath the weight of two crowns. This was their night, their story, and the beginning of a new royal era.